So I just finished watching The Woman in the Yard, and I understand it's gotten a lot of flack. It's not reviewed all that well by the horror community, but I just feel like it's misunderstood. Because if you really sit down and digest this movie and what it's actually trying to offer you, it's a really, really interesting PG-13 horror movie from Blumhouse. Yes, I understand that it is the same old shtick from all the other type of supernatural horror movies and stuff like that. But the way this one is done is very interesting to me. So the premise of The Woman in the Yard is essentially this single mom and widow, Ramona, who is struggling enough as it is, raising 2 kids on her own, while having to constantly deal with the emotional grief and the psychological tendencies of her husband's death, while having to deal with this supernatural woman in the yard who will not leave their home and will not leave this yard per se, and is continuously just trying to get in the head of this poor woman. And I can understand where Ramona is coming from. I personally haven't lost a wife, a spouse, anything like that, because, well, I don't even have a girlfriend, so I don't really know what that whole grieving process is like. Sorry. But it must be incredibly tough to have to raise kids while still going through that and not being able to, kind of get the help you need. So on a story aspect, I kind of understand the plot there. And from a psychological aspect, I do understand it as well. This movie does a really good job in the, tension department. Because there's just something about this gosh darn woman in the yard that just sends chills and is creepy all the time. It's like that ghost that never goes away. It does a really good job of haunting you throughout the entire runtime. Because this woman not only is inside of her head, but she is controlling the entire house as well from the outside. And another interesting thing is in most of these movies, this whole, supernatural stuff, right? It's controlled by darkness. This woman in the yard controls everything in the middle of the day. That is an interesting twist, if I do say so myself. But if you're a fan of horror, and this is something you would be interested in, I would recommend The Woman in the Yard. It is on Peacock. I had wished I would have seen this in the theater, because I feel like it would have been a lot more impactful if I saw this in a theater instead of just now watching it at home. But there you go, guys. That's my thoughts on Blumhouse's The Woman in the Yard. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to smash the video with a like and consider subscribing to the channel. was because we are on the road to 30 subscribers. So let's see how many more we can get as we wrap up the month of June. And I will link one of my other horror movie reviews over here, guys, because it's been Dave here with everybody saying The Dave Show. Yeah!